Oasis Palms was a town that thrived for 100 years in the heart of California's Mojave Desert, nestled in a plateau in the Ship Mountains, just 10 miles south of historic Route 66. This desert enclave emerged south of the Santa Fe Railroad main line in the late 1800s, near other long-forgotten Mojave Desert towns and water stops, including Amboy, Cadiz, and Danby. For a century, this desert oasis thrived and then suddenly was gone, becoming the lost pearl of the Mojave Desert. Originally settled during the California Gold Rush by Captain Cameron Smith, an oysterman adventurer from Philadelphia. Smith was brought to the plateau while searching for the lost pearl boat of the Mojave. He was led to this desert oasis by his beautiful Hutapa Mojave guide named Malika, who would later become his wife. Smith never found the legendary pearl boat, but in the caves of what he would call the Barco Plateau, Smith found gold. Cameron and Malika settled and raised a family and named their town Oasis Palms. The riches from the Barco Mining Company allowed Smith to build a town that would thrive for over 100 years. In the early 1900s, Cameron's son Emmett convinced the Santa Fe Railroad to build a spur line into Oasis Palms. This would provide water for Santa Fe steam engines crossing the desert, and more importantly, bring tourism to Oasis Palms. In the 20s and 30s, Oasis Palms was wide open. Its remote location meant visitors could enjoy medicinal whiskey made locally at the Barco Distillery and could try the games of chance at the Hotel California located in downtown Oasis Palms. The 1950s brought a tourist boom to Oasis Palms, and with it, its most ambitious project yet. Cameron's great-grandson Lewis, also known as Lefty, embarked on building the Oasis Palms Scenic Railroad. Lefty constructed an elevated train rail encircling town that would provide tourists with a chance to fly over Oasis Palms, just as he had done as a lieutenant during World War II. Lefty also installed a decommissioned P-38 as an awning over his mobile gas station. He heavily promoted his attractions to the motoring tourists all along Route 66. The 1960s brought the winds of change, and with it, Oasis Palms' economic future was in peril. Lloyd Smith was the fifth generation of Smiths and had little interest in the family business. Lloyd was content hanging out with the musicians and actors from Hollywood who were frequenting the desert to turn on, tune in, and drop out. With the gold long gone and tourism moving to Las Vegas, the Salton Sea, and Lake Havasu, there was little money coming in to Oasis Palms. Then, in the late 1960s, Santa Fe dealt a devastating blow and discontinued its daily passenger service to Oasis Palms. In 1972, the I-40 opened, bypassing 90% of the vehicle traffic on Route 66, and Oasis Palms essentially became a ghost town. In a final blow, in 1979, a major earthquake rocked Oasis Palms. Reports poured in of people feeling the tremors as far away as Yuma, Arizona, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Power lines were severed. The aging brick structures in town showed visible cracks, some starting to crumble. In the following weeks, structural damage intensified as cave supports collapsed, triggering a chain reaction that caused portions of the elevated train superstructure to fail. Without insurance and any means to rebuild Oasis Palms, in 1980, Lloyd relocated his trailer from the Cliffhanger Trailer Park in Oasis Palms to Slab City in Niland, California, near the Salton Sea. Over the next decade, anything of value within Oasis Palms was sold off or fell victim to looting and vandalism. Some buildings, like the diner, found new homes elsewhere, while others were condemned and demolished. It remains unclear whether the earthquake had compromised the springs or if the water was diverted elsewhere. But the life-giving water source for the oasis eventually dried up. The lush vegetation that once adorned the plateau withered away, leaving behind a barren desert landscape. After Lloyd's death, and with no surviving heirs or a will, in the fall of 1992, the land was officially deemed abandoned and reclaimed by the state of California. Over time, the roads leading to Oasis Palms were closed and gradually buried by the ever-shifting desert sands. What was once a thriving, vibrant town slowly succumbed to the same desert sands from which it had emerged a century earlier.